And put out that caveat specifically because I agree with that policy that you just stated. Like, I do feel like, all right, if you invited me out, then naturally whoever did the inviting should pay. But then it also kind of depends on my feel of that person, where it's like, all right, I don't really know how you rock with situations like this. And really, you speak on this shit in a negative light at any point, and it might come up the wrong way. And that's more so for me because I said, yeah, in reference to dating, but I also said because I travel a lot and I've traveled with people where sometimes they pay, sometimes I pay, sometimes they invited me, whatever. Like there's this type of stuff that happened to me. Either way, I'm like, all right, if somebody traveling with me, I got you. No big deal. If I invited you on a trip, which would be rare, but if I did, just know that you're just showing up. You know what I mean? Like, that's really what you're doing. It ain't like I'm going to be like, well, I paid for this trip, so this is how it's going down. But that's just me, though.
No, I agree. And you know, just because I believe certain things about who asking who out should pay. Like I don't give a fuck about paying. I do it all the time, do it if I have to. And we also understand that women want you to spend your money on them. Yeah, that's
that's pretty direct. That's straightforward. Yep.
That's never going to change, and
Nope.
that's irrespective of the progress that's made with you know feminism and advancement of equal treatment for men and women alike. There are some things that are always going to be the same. Like, women are always going to want a man, or I mean, women that straight women are always going to want a man
Yeah.
to spend their money on them and show and also kind of take more of the lead in the courtship.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what generation you are because they're secretly cheap when it comes to other people, and they're like, if you can't take care of me for dinner, how are you gonna take care of me for the rest of your life?
Yeah.
Which is fair. And for men, that's a deal that we've made a long time ago. So I think my advice to men who might be struggling with that, one, don't don't spend your time with a woman that wants your last dollar,
Yeah.
and don't set yourself up for failure. Don't go to the 6-star restaurants, Michelin rated and all that shit. At the start, knowing you can't keep that up because there's such thing as treatment a live standard that they're accustomed to
Yep.
to living.
Absolutely.
Don't go on the extravagant place. Don't say, oh yeah, I'm about to go get you this 3 carat when nigga you got money for a cubic zirconia. You know, know yourself and be honest with it. Women are also immensely understanding,
Yeah.
and a lot of the good ones and many of them will be there. They're there to grind with you.
Yep. Yep.
They just
And,
want you to show them that, like, yo, I want to take care of you, which is a totally fair trade.
yep. And speaking of best practices, and I won't say that this is a best practice, but it's one that I live by, and I know people both love me for it and hate me for it. Like, I live by the 50-40 rule, right? And the 50-40 rule is based off a statement that you just made. Like, people are supposed to be there to grind with you. So the 50-40 rule is I typically prefer that no matter who I'm with, make at least 50% of what I make. At least 50%.
Mm-hmm.
And both of us can contribute, and I'm looking at it from if I'm married perspective, both of us can contribute 40% of our pay into our living, like paying for the house, paying for bills, paying for whatever. Because that still leaves, with them making 50% of what I make, and us both putting in 40%, that should easily cover the living expenses of the house, cars, etc. that we got. But it also leaves 60% of your money to you
Mm-hmm.
to do whatever you want to do with. And I say that also because of the fact that should nobody expect, at least in my opinion, should nobody expect to be receiving certain things if they're not able to provide certain things. And I say that from the perspective of I don't seek what I deserve, before understanding what I can offer. So
Right.
if I know I can't offer something to somebody, I'm usually not going to ask for it. And because I've dated people that run the gamut, like I dated people that was millionaires, I dated people that didn't work at all. And I'll admit, most of the time it didn't last long on the lower end, and it was never because they weren't working. It was because they didn't have no grind. If you ain't got no grind and you ain't working to be a contributing partner, like point blank period, it's gonna get to the point where it's understood. Well, that's not my equal, not just for financial purposes, but also because if I'm out grinding, usually making more, trying to do more, like I'm not doing that in one realm. That's usually I'm also out creating. I'm also out looking at other avenues to do stuff. I'm looking at new ways for us to be better, for our kids to be better, to elevate life, to gain more intelligence, all this shit. And if you ain't doing nothing, then I mean, really, what do you expect in that situation? If one person is growing, or better yet, let me put it this way: if you're in a relationship and you all supposed to water each other, and I'm watering you, but you can't water me back the same way that I'm watering you, so then I got to turn around and water myself.
Yeah.
So I'm watering both of us, and thus I'm running out of water. You ain't contributing shit to it. Don't think I'm gonna stop my growth. And if I'm just pouring water on you and you're not growing, nah, I'm Gucci.
Well, we gotta be each other's son, We
Yeah,
got we like and what that means is not just strictly a physical thing or monetary. It's about emotional support also. Like you said, you can't expect someone's best if you can only give someone your average,
yeah,
you know.
yeah,
And it's not fair to that person to expect them to be your shot, to be your savior. You have to be able to know that I may not have the most money right now, but I'm a good person. I work hard.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm resilient. I'm a creative thinker. So we might not be able to do the most expensive. But we could do something the most fun.
yep,
Or if you understand, it's like I'm at a stage now where we can enjoy some more lavish experiences. But then you're also looking. I don't need anybody to fulfill that end. But you might be looking for someone. All right, well, I get lonely sometimes, or I have insecurities about something. I need the person who's going to soothe me.
yep,
You need that person who's your calming influence. You have to have a stronger identity, a stronger understanding of yourself. And I think a lot of people that go into dating don't take the time to understand who they are, what they bring, and most importantly, what are the things that they need from someone, not the
yeah,
things they want. Because whenever you hear someone talk about checklists ain't about needing. That's about shit you'd like to have in someone.
yep,
And checklists don't mean shit because the things that you like about that person dating, you end up hating about them when you're married to them.
absolutely, absolutely. And it's funny to even say that too, because like I was saying earlier, I can't recall one relationship I've ever been in where I went in thinking to myself, all right, this is what I deserve. Yeah, naturally everybody know what they want out of a person, but I can't approach any situation like that without thinking to myself, all right, am I really able to offer the stuff
Yes.
that's on the level for what I deserve? And like people come into it and they have the mindset of this is what I deserve in a person, this is how I deserve to be treated. No, first and foremost, let me be quite clear when I say this. Don't nobody deserve shit.
Yeah.
You don't deserve a motherfucking thing. You deserve exactly what you can offer. And if you can't offer it, don't expect it. Because
Yes.
it's just like what you're saying as far as like across the board. If you're not able to calm me and be that person for me, but I'm being that for you, and it's not being reciprocated. So all right, when you having hard times, I'm able to help you, but I'm ass out when I'm having hard times. Or
Exactly.
you might be going through something, and I'm like, all right, you know what, I'm gonna be understanding of that because you in whatever emotional state you got, whatever going on, stuff that I might not even know what's going on, and that's the case. And then let's just say, which I mean, it's not in my personality to do nothing like that, but at the same time, like, let's just say I did that shit, and they wasn't understanding. Like,
Mm-hmm.
what do you expect? Like, eventually, I'm just gonna be like, all right, cool. I see I'm putting in more than I'm receiving, and I deserve better.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what happened to a lot of marriages, because it's like, all right, you went into it obsessed with somebody, you fell in love with them based off exactly what you said a minute ago, the things that you thought you would love forever, and then you marry them and then you hate it. And it's not that you didn't hate it before; it's that it's that positive emotion reinforcement where everything is great when you first fall in love with somebody, and then 10 years down the line, you're like, I don't know. So you kind of got to ask yourself, all right, am I getting what I want in a husband or a wife? And it's funny because even as I was watching the stand-up comedy earlier, and he said most people got to come to terms with realizing whoever people are when they go into their 30s, that's who they're likely going to be for the rest of their life. I'm like, well, that's kind of true, but kind of fucked up, right? I don't want to say that because, like, if that's the case, and considering a lot of people I've met have been at least 30 or close to 30 or over 30, I'm sitting here like, well, you know what? Me as a person, I always think of growth and creating and enlightening myself and gaining more knowledge. Like, yeah, I read for pleasure, but I mostly read for knowledge. And I'm sitting back and I'm like, okay, is this person not growing at all? Does this person want to grow? Does this person seek growth and then talk themselves out of growth because they get either unmotivated or that's not really what they want to do? Like, it's like there's all these factors, and then you sit back one day and you be like, well, this is who they were when I met them. So really, what can you say about that? You can't say nothing about that. Maybe you lied to yourself, but it definitely.
Well, you changed what you liked,
Yeah. Well, that's the other risk with growth, though. Like, as you grow, what you grow into like might not be, whoever you married in some cases. Maybe that's why divorce is so high. But divorce is also too easy right now. The problem with that. People don't go into things thinking it's going to be a lifetime commitment, although marriage is supposed to be a lifetime commitment.
Ain't that a fact?
So, I mean, that's crazy.
Marriage is like a fucking high school relationship nowadays,
Yep. Well, I think the problem with that too, though, is that we're in the age of agreed upon divorces, and people don't realize that's a byproduct of the society that we live in. We're just talking about lavish lifestyles and living, but if you can provide for yourself and I can provide for myself, and we don't have any kids, and all of a sudden we decide we want to get a divorce, as long as we both agree to it, you can do that shit for $500. End story. It's super easy now. Where it used to be, yeah, you about to have to divide up some things. Even if you don't have kids, you might be about to pay some alimony. If you do have kids, you have property, homes. Yeah, dude, you might own the home, but you might be about to move the fuck up out that house. Like, I mean, that's a battle. But now it's like, you kind of live in an age where everybody's like, all right, whatever. I can buy my own house. I can do my own shit. You don't necessarily need me. I don't need you. Peace out. Go do what you do.
Yep.
I was listening to a dude over a cubicle today at work. I had just said I was only at work today for like, an hour and a half. And I'm sitting there and this dude's like, yeah, man. I had to take my psych eval, and the psychologist asked me if I had been through a traumatic event. I was like, man, I've been married 3 times. Of course I've been through a traumatic event. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, like, dude can't be no more than maybe 4 years, maybe 5 years older than me. And I'm like, shit, you've been married 3 times? The fuck?
I'd have gave up, nigga.
Which he may have, but I'm like, man, that's like, I'm sitting there like, one, do you actually know what you want? Who was responsible in these situations? And you had to know, at least partially before you went in, that it was probably going to end. And my thing is, if I got any unresolved issues or anything that I know may be an absolute deal breaker for me, I'm not getting married. Like I'm just not going into a marriage because that's something where ahead of time. That's not coming up on something after you marry. I know this is an issue going in, and I'm still going to do it. No, we got to resolve this shit, or else we can't be married.
Yeah, once you download all the information on someone, it's your fault if you make the bad decision at that point.
Yep. But you know what? On that note too,